Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia. Welcome back to Overwatch. So, here we are. It is August 2020 going into September. And I think we can say that the war on barriers in Overwatch is over. It's been a while, hasn't it? We've been in a double barrier meta for quite a while, but then we got this new patch that's just come through. Kind of like the double barrier nerf 2.0. It's nerfed barriers, but it's also kind of nerfed the utility of some of the heroes involved in double barrier, and it's done some very interesting stuff, hasn't it? So, Orisa has very much fallen back now because of her halt radius change from 7 to 4. We mentioned that the other day, and it's been coupled alongside some very major changes to Roadhog that have propelled him into an almost... in fact, actually not almost, a must-pick sort of role. Roadhog is the most powerful tank in the game. The most powerful tank. Not only that, he could also be the most powerful DPS. He is possibly the most impactful hero in the entire game right now. It is crazy. And along with this, with the barriers being nerfed, you know, we've got the things of Orisa being nerfed and her barrier HP. We've got Sigma's barrier HP nerfed. Back along we had Reinhardt's barrier HP nerfed. And increased damage output. We are now in the timeline where we are looking at no barriers as a meta. So a lot of you have probably seen a lot of Zarya Roadhog tank duos. If you've played Overwatch, or if you've watched Overwatch, not at the Overwatch League level though, because Overwatch League is still playing on the previous patch. But that is the meta right now. And with Roadhog being like he is, and there being no barriers, the competitive has kind of descended into a deathmatch. So this is an issue. Is it an issue? It's very interesting. That's what we're going to discuss. So, what happens when you take away barriers from Overwatch? Well, I'm going to use an analogy here to describe this. Barriers are what keeps Overwatch as a cube of ice, should we say. And as soon as you remove those barriers, that ice melts. And it turns into a liquid. It turns into water. And that's what we have right now. We have water. There is no structure. Zarya can play pretty solo. Roadhog, very often you'll find him going on flanks. He's very self-capable, if you see what I mean. He's got his take a breather so he can keep himself up. He's very, you know, he doesn't rely on a lot of other people a lot of the time, especially at the lower levels, which is why he's actually dominated before, because you can be pretty solo on Hog. You always have been at the lower levels. At the higher levels, he needs a bit more investment, because otherwise he's shut down pretty quickly. So, then you've got the DPS. Now, with no barriers looming, or to negate damage coming in, we're seeing hit scan. We're seeing major hit scan. Widowmaker, Ashe, McCree. Soldier takes too long to burn down targets, so it's generally Widow, Ashe, McCree. Generally Widow or Ashe. At the moment, I'm expecting more Widow, because I think there's less chance of having enemy teams grouped up, so less chance to get off big dynamites, stuff like that. Widow can have an insane pick rate in this meta, so in terms of getting picks on the enemy team when being played. So I'm anticipating so much Widowmaker, dude. But then you get issues with other DPS players, like DPS heroes like Symmetra, for example. She's really suffering right now because of what's happened. Pharah's a bit up in the air. Echo can get quite a bit done as well, but it depends what the enemy team are running. If the enemy team are running a lot of hit scan, then Echo starts to struggle as well. Pharah struggles because Widow's dominant. Stuff like this. Tracer, Genji, they are okay depending on how the enemy team's Roadhog is playing. If he's healing very well, you are likely to get hooked. If he's not healing well, and he's playing more of a DPS sort of hog, which we're seeing a lot lately, then they will get work done. Because With no barriers, as you might expect, the support line, no matter what it is, gets very, very squishy. And I can tell you the two best supports in the game right now. Ana and Mercy. And the reason for this is Ana, Bionade, Hog, massive counter. Sleep is a massive counter to Hog. Ana is one of the best heroes at countering Hog in the entire game. So if Hog is meta, you are likely to see Ana as meta as well. Also, Ana has been great at a healing output for a long time, and she can heal from long distances, which is something very, very useful when people are all over the place and not really structured, no single big ball of heroes to heal. Moira really doesn't like that sort of thing if they're not all clumped up. Baptiste is struggling because of Hog. He's being pulled out of things. His immortality field is 1. He's just getting one shot by Hog. Zen is exactly the same. He's way too squishy in this meta to survive. Mercy, however, a lot of mobility, so she's able to get around and not be too vulnerable. But obviously, with the likes of Ashe, Widowmaker, damage boost is so powerful. And so you stick your Mercy on your DPS player, generally the hit scan, and they're getting tons and tons of work done. Tons of work done. So that's why we're seeing a lot more Mercy. So your ideal support line at the moment is Mercy, Ana. Pretty straightforward. When we go into the tanks, we're seeing a lot of Zarya Roadhog. Will we always see that? Maybe not. It depends how the meta develops. We are about to see the Overwatch League move into its playoffs. When those playoffs come around, they'll be playing on this patch. Now, here's the big thing. Do we expect the Overwatch League to play Zarya Roadhog, deathmatchy sort of brawly comp? I don't think so. I have extreme doubts we will see this same meta in the Overwatch League. I think it gets a lot of value in competitive because solo queue. Hog is god tier for solo queue. And Zarya can also be pretty god tier for solo queue. When you look at the Overwatch League, when you look at Overwatch League teams, they crave sort of just order. They crave order and also team element to things. In this current meta that we are seeing in competitive play, there is not a massive amount of teamwork. Not a massive amount. And so you won't have this whole, oh, let's go in, dive on that target, or let's rush this target, blah 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 blah, because that's not how this meta works. Hog, hooks, get a kill, pick, wow, let's win. That's kind of how this works. Unless your Zarya is darn good. So, do I expect the Overwatch League to go into a meta where communication and teamwork is not exactly pivotal? No. I think Overwatch League teams and Overwatch League coaches may just find a meta that we haven't found yet. Where they think, right, this is a great teamwork meta where we can get a massive value. Do I think that means that it will sacrifice Hog? I doubt it. I still think Hog is very powerful with his really massive damage output. He has his hook one-shot combo back, and that is incredibly powerful. We saw Roadhog briefly before Sigma was introduced to the game, played alongside Orisa. It'll probably be unlikely that we will see Orisa because of her Holt radius reduction. I'm not expecting a massive amount of that. Unless they play some really rush sort of comp, Orisa could still be good in rush, but then again there is this hero called Reinhardt. You know, he's going to have more health. He's going to have more barriers. It's kind of like, I don't see Orisa being played over Reinhardt even in a rush comp. So, could we see something possibly like Reinhardt, Roadhog, and then they put in a Mei in the utility spot for the DPS? You hook in and then wall off. Something like that maybe I could see happening. Because then you've kind of got that pick, but you've also got the teamwork and all sorts, and they've also still got a barrier in there. And I just don't see a meta in the Overwatch League that doesn't have a main tank. I just don't see it. I might be wrong. I didn't see a no main tank meta coming in. I really didn't. But we are where we are. Now, what other tank duos might you see? You might see a Roadhog and a Wrecking Ball, which is something I never thought I'd say. Honestly, that is something I never thought I'd say, but Wrecking Ball can sometimes thrive in chaos, and so this is chaos. At the moment in competitive, it's chaos. So the disruption that Wrecking Ball can offer can really enable the rest of the team, especially when you've got hit scan, when you're pile driving, you're going to boot people up in the air. Hit scan can really benefit from that, and obviously Hog with his hooks as well. It all comes back to Hog in the end. So that's kind of where that's at. But if I was to talk about most pivotal heroes right now, they would be Roadhog and Ana. Those would be my two most pivotal heroes in the game right now. Simply because Hog is so darn oppressive and has so much damage output. And Ana, because she is pivotal to shutting that Roadhog down. The rest of the heroes kind of have been a knock-on effect of no barriers being a thing. Like Widowmaker. Ashe was already meta before this. One hero that is really suffering is Brigitte. She's been nerfed into the ground. She's really not good right now. Another hero that is also suffering quite heavily, in my opinion, is D.Va. I think D.Va is possibly the worst tank in the game right now. She is so vulnerable to Roadhog. She is so vulnerable to Zarya. It is ridiculous for D.Va right now. We may see D.Va get more success at the very highest level, because we've seen Dive re-emerge at the Overwatch League level, and maybe Dive might sustain over Roadhog at the very highest level. In that case, we might continue to see D.Va, but it is a tough one. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the playoffs. Question is this good for Overwatch? Is this a good patch? I'm not gonna get into that in this video. That will be another video. We are gonna discuss what this means for Overwatch and whether Overwatch can be good with no barriers involved. Because I've been hearing some consensus from people who watch this channel, and yeah, it's interesting, shall we say. But I'm going to leave it here for this one. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you'd like to give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.